Hi, today I'm going to make a Zelda shield, and my son had the idea. He already had this Thor shield, and he brought me this little tin. This was Zelda mints that we had bought. He said, oh, I think maybe we could use that as the design and use the Thor shield. And it's just a plastic shield, came as a set with a sword. So I thought, hey, you know, maybe we could do that. So I looked to see what I had around the house. So my idea was to create some triangles out of painter's tape so I could use the gold background that's already existing. And then I have some permanent markers for the blue and the red design. And then I just had some puffy paint in silver. Unfortunately, I don't have a silver Sharpie that I could find right now, so I am going to try to use those items to create my shield. So here's what I have so far. As I started drawing with my pen, and I did try the silver puffy paint, and I decided it was a good idea to do the dot detail, but it didn't work out for these parts. So I have some silver duct tape, good old duct tape, that I've cut shapes with, and I'm using that instead. That seems to be working out well. And I've left the tape triangles, and I'm just going to peel one of those off to show that part. So I think that turned out pretty good. My blue, I don't know if it's quite the right shade, but I think it'll work out. And then I know I have some extra details on the Thor sword that shouldn't be there, like this is raised, but I'm just going to try to paint over it like I have here. And I'm going to leave these extra details, really aren't supposed to be there, but we're going to leave those anyway. And I'm going to keep working. So here's my progress so far. I've gone ahead and done a lot of the red detail before the blue because it's easier to cover up the blue because it's so dark over the red. But if you try to do the red over the blue, it doesn't work as well. I've done a lot of the silver details now. I just need to do the upper on each side. So I have a piece of duct tape. I decided to try to put it on wax paper because it's hard to cut out when you just have a piece of duct tape. And also, I'm using the back, and then you have to flip the sides. So I'm holding it up here, and I'm using the back of the paper to sketch out how I want my design. So I can erase it and just, you know, work it that way. Then once I have this all cut out, it will actually be flipped over and it will be attached to that side. So I will try to use this same pattern that I create so both sides are equal for each side, and I'm going to work on that next. Here is my finished product, my Hylian shield from Zelda. I purchased a pack of Sharpies. It came in 3 colors, silver, gold, and copper. I didn't use the copper, but I did use the silver to go over my puffy paint. So for each of these little dots or rivets, whatever you'd call those, and then I tried to do a raised effect on each of these. I think it looks pretty good, but I did need to go over the puffy paint because my particular puffy paint was just kind of clear with silver glitter in that. I would suggest using more of an opaque without glitter in a silver color. But that's what I had, so I used that and I went over it with the silver paint, and then I did this area with the silver and with the Sharpie, and then maybe some other little spots. Just to fill in some areas or wherever I thought it was necessary. And then I used the gold to cover up the Thor writing underneath. Depending on the lighting, you can still kind of see it. I suppose you could use the gold to completely cover these gold triangle areas, but I liked the gold from the existing shield, so I just went over the letter area. To finish everything off, I chose Mod Podge as a sealer and I painted it on. These little dots would chip off if I didn't have a sealer on there, and then also the duct tape kind of starts coming off too, or getting little phrase of whatever in there. So I chose the Mod Podge to seal everything in. There's also some spray paint type of sealer you can buy, or other choices. But I did about 2 to 3 coats of the Mod Podge. And here are all the items I ended up using. My Sharpies, my puff paint, my duct tape, and the Mod Podge. So thank you for watching.